Hello, it's 8:30. It is January 28th, 2020. Welcome to the weather update. Well, it's been kind of a crappy couple of days. We've had a lot of clouds around and still having a lot of clouds around. However, there's some clear sky that's trying to make its way down from the north. And we have a chance of that. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow we'll have some more clear skies because the past couple of days have just been completely cloudy. Looking at the MODIS satellite, we'll take a look at that and we'll show you that. You see that it's been fairly cloudy because we got this Pacific air mass. I'll show you in a minute. So you can see all these clouds that have been over us lately. So here you go. So see these mostly lower clouds. So I haven't even been able to see the sun much. Here's yesterday, and the day before we had a little more sun. That was a little more, but for the most part, past 2 days we've had just tons of clouds. And it's because this is a Pacific air mass that we have over us. That I'll draw that out for you. You'll see. You can actually see as I moved it along there. But let me draw that out for you. So this is a Pacific air mass. So this air is coming from the Pacific. It's coming from here, and so it's bringing a lot of moisture with it, and therefore no clear skies. So that's why we've been suffering. Let's look at our current observations across the area. Temperatures are a little colder today. We've been above normal for the past couple of days, highs in the mid 40s, but today we got in the low 40s, and now we have temperatures in the upper 30s. So there's a good chance we'll get below freezing. It's been kind of windy the past couple of days. You see that windy, kind of cloudy, kind of mild kind of weather going on. It's unusual to have a northwest wind and have it be mild. But that's the way it's been this whole season right now. Look at a couple of current observations across the area for us. So 39 at Central Park. Let's look at Farmingdale. Farmingdale is 40, so that's still above normal. But you do see some lower temperatures. So let's talk about it. Let's go. We'll go to the Ventus sky first. We'll show you what we have across the area. So you see what the problem is with this flow is just there's really no really cold air. The only area where you got some cold is in this area here, Wisconsin area here, and you have temperatures in the teens there, which is still not that cold for them. The really cold air is just trapped in Canada. It's trapped by this Pacific flow. Look at how mild it is, all the way even up into this area here. 20s, that's very warm. Very warm, and you can see the reason why. This low right here, this cutoff low, is pretty much trapped all the cold air within the Arctic Circle, and maybe a little bit of it spilled down here in eastern Canada. But you got this fire hose basically coming out of the Pacific. Whoa, how I remembered that. That's amazing. All right, let's clear that. I don't think I could remember that. But anyway, you got this low right here, and you got this fire hose jet that's coming right in off the Pacific. That's just literally just blocked out all the cold air for us. All the cold air is being blocked by this low that's sitting here, and even in Canada, it's just you can see it's just taking the air and just coming in. It's all coming in off the Pacific. It's not. It's all Pacific air. It's not even Arctic air, not even Canadian air, really. So that's why we've been such a bad pattern this week. It's been absolutely awful. Will it change? Well, we're going to look and see what the models have to say because there are some signs that maybe, just maybe, it might. So this is the GFS 18Z. Well, let's first start with the upper air. So let me first start with the upper air and change the regions to the North American view. And we'll first look at the upper air, 500 MB. So you see here, big trough off the coast of Alaska. It's got the cold air just locked up. It's all locked up in the Arctic Circle. And you see as the week goes by, it doesn't really change much. That low just sits there. And our next storm system, we have this weak high build in here for Thursday. So we see a little bit from the north, but not very much. We have this next system come in. And this was a chance of some snow, perhaps. However, now the models don't seem to want to phase it at all, and they want to keep that to two streams because you have two jet streams here. This is the big problem also that we have. We have this horrible split jet stream flow. So I'll draw the jet streams in purple. We have this horrible split jet stream flow. We have the jet stream over here. This is the northern branch. All right, this is the northern branch. All right. And then you have the southern. Actually, that's not it. Let me clear that out. No, it's not that. That's not the way it's supposed to look. Like this, yeah. So northern branch is way in Canada. So we're not seeing any cold air, right? That's the northern branch. And the southern branch I'll draw in orange. And you have this southern branch over here. Like this. All right, but they're not going to phase together. So we're not going to see the storm phase into a big storm probably. It's going to be a weak storm, and there's no cold air in place. So we're not really going to see the snowstorm, basically, that some models were predicting a while ago. We're not seeing that. You can see it pulls it out. And but the good news is as we head into next week, we start to try to see a little bit of ridging building into Alaska, into the Gulf of Alaska. And that forces a broad trough in the east, which could mean cold air and maybe some chances for snow. And look at that. In the long range, we see a much more somewhat encouraging pattern. Somewhat encouraging, but again, we don't really have the big trough persisting in the east. We'll look at the euro and see if that looks any different as we get into this week. And the euro look is probably the same. Here's that trough again. It actually does want to phase it a little more, the euro. It does want to phase it a little more. So I'll have to see what happens. And let's see if the euro really doesn't really bring us any cold, though. The euro doesn't want to make that budge. No, it doesn't want to make it does have a broad trough though in the middle. So it looks like there's some change going on, but it's really hard to tell what's going to happen beyond this weekend. So let's go back to GFS and let's take a look at the surface and see how the GFS develops this storm. And actually, I'm going to change this regions to the CONUS. So here's the CONUS view. So we have this high that's going to try to build in here from the north. Hopefully maybe bring us some clear sky, like a little weak system over there that passes to the south. And then we have that storm take shape. But it doesn't really phase, and you can see it. We don't even get it. Keeps us mostly dry, and it's because there's no real cold air in place. It's mostly rain, whatever does fall. And then you have this high try to build in. We have another system coming in here, and then that brings in a little more of a colder look, but still not that cold. Here's another system, and it's just still rain over here. And this is now February the 7th. And then another chance for another system. This is just looking at the long range here. It's just, it doesn't look like winter is ever going to show up. It just doesn't seem that it's ever going to show up. So let's take a closer look at the surface here. And I do want to look at the euro too with this as well, with the storm as well. But first, let's take a look. Yeah, let me go back. Let me go back. I'll look at the euro here. All right. So let's take a look at the euro here. And in fact, let's change this to another parameter here. Yeah. Okay. Let's change it to this one, so you can see what it does with the storm. So here's the euro with the storm. Oh, it's completely gone. It doesn't have it at all. It has an even weaker storm. Doesn't phase it at all. Nope. Has nothing. Well, here you go. It looks like our chance for snow this weekend is quickly going out the window. All right, let's go and look at the temperatures. Start looking at that, I guess. So yeah, it will be getting colder as we go into tomorrow. So you see tomorrow, we do see temperatures a little colder, upper 30s to around 40, maybe low 40s. And then on Thursday, even a little colder, a couple degrees colder, upper 30s. And then Friday, it brings in a little more warm air. There's your storm right there. We stay cold, but not that cold. So we may even still see some rain, whatever falls from that. And then 40s. Let's see. Do we see any? Look at this. Next week, It gets warm. Look at that. You got that ridge building ahead, so we're gonna have another, especially Jersey could be dealing with 60s next Tuesday, according to this, and then we have some more cold air come in. And on Thursday we see mid 30s. Let's see any really cold air though. Mid 30s. Yeah, toward around that the weekend after this, it could bring in a plunge of some colder air where we may not make it above freezing. And that would be our next chance. But again, it's transient, and there's no real blocking to hold it in place for too long. Let's go and look at the dew points, because this is also going to determine whether we see some sun tomorrow. So these are the dew points. So there are big differences here in the dew points. So these are the dew points we've been having here. Obviously, it hasn't been humid, but we need drier air coming into the picture, and hopefully you see that drier air coming to the picture on Wednesday and Thursday, and it hopefully means less clouds, and we can see some more sun, hopefully. And that's something we can hope for. So let's go look at the sky cover, and we'll see what it looks like. Because the model actually, they've been underestimating the sky cover. The past 2 days, they said, oh, well, we have a few clouds, and it was overcast all day. So hopefully tomorrow will be a little better. So let's see. Looking at Wednesday, it looks like it does clear it out, and we have a clear sky for tomorrow. For Thursday, maybe clear sky in the morning before the cirrus rolls in later on. And then I'm not really going to go any beyond that. Let's see how the NAM handles this with the sky cover. Let's see. So here is the NAM. Has a few more clouds in the morning, a little better in the afternoon. Has a few more clouds over New Jersey. And then has it clear, and then the cirrus rolls in on us on Thursday. So that seems to be the NAM. I want to go back to the GFS, and we're just going to go look at the snow totals and see total snowfall and see if the GFS gives us anything for the weekend. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zilch. Let's go look at another model, the Canadian, which I don't look at too much, but we're going to look at the Canadian. Gives us a little more, maybe an inch or so. Is that from the storm system on the weekend? Yeah. So that's the Canadian. Let's look at the Canadian here. See how it probably has the storm more wrapped up. The Canadian always tends to do that. So yeah, it has a bigger storm. You can see these borderline temperatures though. It has us in rain. It's just not going to be. If we see any snow at all, it would be very little, and it's very likely that we're not going to see any here. So yeah, unfortunately, not another disappointment for those people who want to see some snow. Unfortunately, let's go look at the sky conditions. So we may not get some snow, but let's see if we can at least get some sun. So let's take a look at tomorrow. Again, it has it clearer for tomorrow, so I'm hoping tomorrow can be that nice day that we haven't had since last week. Last week we had a string of decent days. This week's been awful. So hopefully we can get some nice weather tomorrow, I hope. All right, let me go to windy.com. So let's look at the euro here. This has the euro output, so we can look at that. All right, load this in here. Okay. So we're going to just use this for the clouds and see how it has for tomorrow. Let's see, 10 a.m. Yeah, it does some clouds over New Jersey, but it has Long Island fairly clear. So it looks like Long Island will have a nice day for your Wednesday, which is good. So hopefully we finally get to see the sun, because that chance goes away by Thursday. We're going to be dealing with some cirrus around. All right, let's look at the temperatures as well. Let's see, 1 p.m. is the height of the day. So it has us a little colder, the euro, maybe upper 30s for tomorrow over Long Island. Warmer over New Jersey. Let's take a look at 1 p.m. on Thursday. Has it even colder? Interestingly, I think got a little bit of a northeast flow too, so that might help to hold the cold air in a little bit. Let's take a look at Saturday. Yeah, temperatures are warmer. And if we look at the rain or whatever precipitation would be around, let's take a look and see. Yeah, it has it all to the south. It has it completely suppressed. Yep, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Zilch. So I don't think there's going to be much of a storm on the weekend right now. It's certainly doesn't look like it. It certainly doesn't look like it. The one last thing I'll take a look at is the water temperatures and the water temperature anomalies, because I'm sure they're above normal, and I'm sure that would also help to keep, if there was any precipitation, it would help to keep it rain. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Ocean and temperature anomaly, sea surface temperature anomaly. Okay, here we go. So here's the sea surface temperature anomaly. Look at that. Wow, huge anomalies off the east coast here. We're talking, let's move this over here. We are talking about a 5.1 degrees Celsius water temperature anomaly, 7.1 Celsius. Now, if we put that in Fahrenheit, that's 12.8 Fahrenheit above normal. So very warm waters offshore. Warm waters in the lakes, too. The parts of the lakes usually freeze by now, and they're not. This is a very warm January we're having, and when the month is over, it's going to be very interesting to look at the climatology and see. So let's see what the actual temperatures are then. These are the actual temperatures. So let's put this away here. All right, so 14.3 Celsius, 57. Wow, that is warm. That's not too far off Long Island. That's about 80 miles southeast of Montauk Point. 56-degree water temperatures. That's very warm. We have upper 40, so the waters are really warm. And even look at that, 74 in that Gulf Stream. So this is another thing. This might help energize a storm, but you also have such warm water that if there's any easterly component to the wind, you're not going to be snowing. So and with no cold air in place, this winter it doesn't look like this winter is ever going to show up. So with that, it does wrap up this. It's not over yet, but we're running out of time here now. We're almost in February. And the weather's got to get its act together, and this year it just doesn't seem like we're going to be getting a winter. They're very disappointing. Anyway, that does wrap up this weather update. Take care, and thank you for watching.